Expose Evil here. Like, share, subscribe. Today I'm doing a video about this comment that the Satanist made to me on this video. The video is called "Growing Number of Black Women Leaving the Churches for Witchcraft." It's from a news channel. Channel 13 or something. On the comment here by John Zell Bird, who said 1 Timothy 4 King James Version KJV, "For now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the later time some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits." And I can't see the rest, sorry, it's a screenshot. So you can see here, the person said, "Dummy, Jesus never existed, but all plagiarized from Kemet. I am very spiritual here, and Satan is in fact our sixth solar planet, Saturn. Duh." Now here we go. Starting off with astrology. Astrology is Satanism, okay? The worship of the planets, the 7 planets and the stars, right? This is astrology. Sun worship, moon worship, planet worship. Now, first, let me explain this. He's saying they plagiarized from ancient Kemet. Kemet is Egypt or Africa. They believe in this thing called Kemetic science or African spirituality, which is the same thing as Freemasonry or the religion of Babylon. Alright? Now, in fact, the 6th solar planet, Saturn. Okay, so he says Satan is Saturn. I once thought this before, too. I thought, well, Saturn might have been Satan's bootleg Holy Spirit. If you've seen the videos I made over a year ago about Saturn, Muslims worship Saturn. You can see the symbolism of Saturn right at the Mecca. This video right here, and then I remade it recently. And I called it "Muslims Worship Nimrod," because Nimrod is associated with Saturn. He's known as Saturn or Kronos, and he's associated with the black cube, which is on the north pole of Saturn. I'll show you that later if you haven't seen that yet. Alright, now we're going to go to Acts 7:43 Bible commentary from Barnes' Notes on the Bible. I'm going to skip this one. This is the part I really want to show you. I'm going to start from here. This is from Barnes still. It says Moloch. The word comes from the Hebrew word signifying king. So remember, Moloch means king. Moloch is a title, but Moloch is also a proper name, as Nimrod was known by Moloch. As Alexander Hislop said in The Two Babylons, he said Moloch signifies king, and who was the first to set up as king after the flood over his peoples was Nimrod. And then he also said at first that the word Moloch was never, Moloch never meant anything bad. It just means king. But from the rites associated with the name Moloch, it's going to be known forever as something evil. That's what Alexander Hislop said in his book, The Two Babylons. Now let's continue. This was a god of the Ammonites, to whom human sacrifices were offered. Moses in several places forbids the Israelites under penalty of death to dedicate their children to Moloch by making them pass through the fire. And remember I just said that Nimrod is Moloch. I just want to pause this really quick and show you that Tammuz is linked to Amun. Right here in Gill's exposition of the entire Bible. Scroll down. Look, if you don't know, astrology is all tied into Tammuz, the son of Nimrod, or Nimrod himself. Look, worship the 7 stars and the 12 signs of the zodiac. That's where it comes from, Tammuz, Nimrod, from Babylon. And scroll down more. Okay. There's something in here. And look, he's telling you the similarities between the Egyptians did the same at the death of the Apis bull. They do the same ritual as the weeping for Tammuz, as explained here in Ezekiel 8:14. This is right here. Tammuz is the same as Osiris. Tammuz is Osiris of the Egyptians. Here it goes right here, what I want to say. Mention is made in Plato of Themis, a king that reigned at the Thebes over all of Egypt, and was the god called Amun. No doubt the same as this Tammuz, or Tammuz, which is the son of Nimrod. So there you have it, Moloch. This was the god of the Ammonites, known as Amun, which is no more than Tammuz or Nimrod. Nimrod is Moloch. Nimrod is Amun. Okay? Now, let's see, we go past. And we'll show you here. This is the great probability that the Hebrews were addicted to the worship of this deity after they entered the land of Canaan. Solomon built a temple to Moloch on the Mount of Olives. 1 Kings 11:7. Wow, because Solomon also built a temple to Astaroth. So that's the mother, or Astaroth possessed Semiramis. That would be the mother of Nimrod. Now it says here, it says either because the word chewin in the Hebrew meant the same as Rephan. Rephan is the word that they used for Saturn in Acts 7:43. In the language of Egypt, where the translation was made, or so they're saying Remphan is chewin in Egyptian. Okay, because the object of worship called chewin in Hebrew was called Remphan in the language of Egypt, it is also generally agreed that the object of their worship was the planet Saturn. Just like the Satanists said that Satan was Saturn, right? Or Mars. There you go. And Alexander Hislop also says that Pluto is just another, is a synonymous word for Saturn. Pluto is the same as Saturn, or it means hidden one. Saturn was known as the hidden god. Come on, guys, read Alexander Hislop. There's a lot of good information there on Nimrod and after the flood, how all this paganism got spread. It says both of which planets were worshipped as gods of evil influence. In Arabic, the word Chivin denotes the planet Saturn. Probably Rephan or Remphan is the Coptic name for the same planet, and the Septuagint adopted this because the translation was made in Egypt, where the Coptic language was spoken. Now this is Matthew Poole's commentary on Acts 7:43. Took up the tabernacle on their shoulders as they did the ark of Moloch, the idol of the children of Ammon, which the Israelites were especially forbidden to worship. Now we know Ammon is Nimrod and Moloch is Nimrod. I showed you Ammon was Nimrod from the Bible commentary. And I told you that if you read Alexander Hislop, you'll find out Moloch is Nimrod. Now it says, which the Israelites were especially forbidden to worship. Leviticus 18:21, 22. Yet they did ordinarily worship him. 2 Chronicles 28:3, Jeremiah 7:31. And there was a high place built by Solomon for him. 1 Kings 11:7. The tabernacle of Moloch was either a chest or a press in which that idol was put, or the chapels into which the worshippers of Moloch were admitted, according to the quality of the offering which they brought, which the planets they intended to honor, hereby whether the sun or Mars or Saturn. It matters not so much that any of these or any other their gods might be called Moloch, taking the word apparently. Whoa, did I mix that up? Well, there. Sorry, I skipped the line. So it says the whole sentence in between. Their gods might be called Moloch, taking the word appellatively. Okay, sorry. Remphren, and the place here cited is called the prophet Chuan, which is one of the same idols in both places, the prophet calling it by its name, then in use, and Saint Stephen, like unto the name of Septuagint, had called it by. Whether Saturn was intended by this as some think, or Hercules as others, it is not our present business to inquire. Now, actually, they're mentioning Hercules, because Zeus is Hercules' father. Now, Saturn is the father of Zeus, but they call him Kronos or Saturn too. It's synonymous words. So it probably is talking about Hercules and also his brother Dionysus, which are they're made up. These are no more than Nimrod or Tammuz. Tammuz and Nimrod are Saturn, Kronos, Hercules, Zeus, Dionysus. They're all the same. They're just fake, made up stories. They're myths. Okay? Now let me go into the star of your god Saturn. And what I believe the star of the god Saturn is the 6-point star, because if you look on Saturn's north pole, you see a hexagram or the 6-point star. And if you look on the south pole, you see the all-seeing eye or the eye of Horus. And you see why this is used in Satanism or astrology or Babylonian worship. Wikipedia says Saturn's hexagram. Saturn's hexagon is a persisting hexagonal cloud pattern around the north pole of Saturn, located at about 78 degrees north. This all you have to do is type in Saturn's north pole. Now let's go to images for it, and you can see there's a hexagram there. And with a little geometry, you can turn that hexagram into a cube. You can turn that hexagram into a 6-point star. To give you an idea. Here you go. The hexagram can be turned into a cube, or the black cube, like at Mecca. 6-point star has a hexagram in it. This is what you call geometry. Now, if we look at the south pole, you get the all-seeing eye, like we always hear about in Satanism or in Egyptian garbage worship. Does not look like an eye to you guys? See what I mean? Alright, that's about it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope people learn new stuff here. Read the Bible, there's a lot in